What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And I've been very critical of PlayStation quite a bit, and even the most hardcore Sony fans have to admit that it's pretty easy to criticize a company which has Naughty Dog under its corporate umbrella, a studio which now features characters like this.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to feed you a bunch of nightmare fuel with that image from Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Next time I'll try to give you a warning, but I did have to make my point that PlayStation has done some pretty boneheaded shit over the past several years, but as I discussed in my video the other day, hope is at least a little bit kindled now in the wake of the shakeup at the top of the company. Sony eliminated the weird co-CEO structure that they had going on at PlayStation, elevating Hideaki Nishino to the sole CEO role while effectively punishing Herman Holst for his failures with crap like Concord and for greenlighting projects like Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
Come on, man.
Sorry, I know I promised I'd try to give you a warning before I did that again. Hopefully, you aren't eating as you watch this. If I ruined your meal, then I apologize. But anyhow, Sony has given us a glimmer of hope that they are getting away from the westernized way of doing things and returning to their roots as a proper Japanese company. But it also looks like with the new sheriff in town, so to speak, at the CEO position, that they are finally clearing up some other messes that have been plaguing the company and creating a negative space for gamers for a long while now.
Well, it's about time!
Reports have come out that PlayStation has quietly removed a good chunk of the SLOP shovelware that has been inundating the PlayStation Store for a while now, making it super difficult to navigate the store and find what you're looking for. But yeah, it looks like PlayStation just did this sometime right before the weekend, which has led some to speculate that this was actually the reason that the PlayStation Network went down on Saturday. That instead of recently laid off employees creating problems for the site, this was an attack from the people who push shovelware into the PlayStation Store, lashing out because PlayStation removing their games from the store was like a shot to the nuts.
Be a good little fella now and open the door.
Shoot!
Alright me hearties, make sure you smash the like button on this video to help with the algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright, first let's talk about this speculation that removing shovelware would be the cause of the PlayStation Network going down over the past weekend. I highly doubt that this was an attack from an outside source on the PlayStation Network. If it were that easy to disrupt the PSN by an outsider at a whim like this, then I'd have to imagine that it would happen a hell of a lot more often than it does. You'd think it would happen every other week if it was that easy, because from the sounds of things, the removal of the shovelware happened right before the weekend, which would not have given the potential attackers much time to plot out an attack like this, and you'd think they would need quite a bit of time to do something like this. No, in my mind, if this shovelware situation had anything to do with the network going down, and the timing of all this does make you at least have to wonder, but if taking the shovelware off of the PlayStation Store had anything to do with the network going down, my thoughts would be that it would be some move on PlayStation's part where they goofed up while removing all that content, maybe doing so crashed the system for a while. It's impossible to say for sure, but that would be my thought, that this isn't just something that any old disgruntled computer nerd could do on a whim. But all that PSN stuff aside, this is really good news for PlayStation users, who will once again be able to search through the store unmolested by the horde of crap that these shovelware designers plop in there. But let's read about what PlayStation has seemingly done in this article here from Eurogamer. Sony has seemingly delisted a number of games following an investigation into the prevalence of spam titles on digital storefronts, after an investigation by IGN found differing approaches to quality control across Nintendo, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox stores. Players believe they found evidence that Sony has removed some questionable developers from the PlayStation Store. And let me say real quick, the IGN report that they mention here came out a little over a week ago, giving off the impression that yes, Sony did not like to be critiqued this way. The new CEO seems to have had his company act fast in response to this. Not that I'd recommend listening to IGN very much, but this is the sort of topic that about 99% of gamers agree on, even the tourist gamers who work over at IGN. So yeah, I actually really appreciate how quickly they responded to this. It's just one more reason to have a shred of hope that things are turning around at PlayStation. But anyhow, reading on, the article says, for example, most games from developer Random Spin, including Supermarket Simulator Pro, Body Cam Shooter, and Backrooms Inside the Escape, all of which are allegedly thought to use AI and or recycled assets, have disappeared, leading some to speculate that Sony has responded to criticism. As detailed on True Trophies and PSN profiles, the developer has released dozens of games in 2024 alone, in some cases releasing multiple games a month, leading some to speculate about the quality of its products. This issue isn't unique to just PS5, of course. Just days after the creative director of indie hit Unpacking, Ren Breyer, called out Nintendo due to the prominence of copycat games on its Switch eShop, Chinese fans spotted a game called Wukong Sun Black Legend had popped up too, with misleading artwork to match its name. But you get the picture. Sony is eliminating and or has eliminated this kind of crap from its store. Considering how long people have been complaining about this, you have to think that the variable that's changed this time around is the new CEO. Now, granted, we will have to see how sweeping this change is. When I look through the PlayStation Store on my PS5, some shovelware slop still pops up, though. And I know this is just anecdotal evidence, but it does seem to have been curtailed to at least some degree. I am seeing less shovelware. So yeah, for as much shit as I like to give Sony, I think it's only fair that we acknowledge when they do something that's actually good for their customers. Now, if only they can get a handle on their studios in the West, rein them in so that they start making games like Stellar Blade and Astrobot, then the company would be in really great shape. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your thoughts on this situation into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me, hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.